Good Monday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new week, the last full week of the month of February. So we're going to end this month strong. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up today. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and today's Entertainment Spotlight features author Crystal Maldonado discussing her writing journey and debut novel, Fat Chance Charlie Vega. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Monday headlines. In Mississippi news, the Mississippi State Department of Health has reported 390 new COVID-19 cases and 0 additional deaths. There have now been in Mississippi 290,632 COVID-19 cases and 6,553 coronavirus-related deaths in the Magnolia State since March of 2020. In more COVID-19 news, beyond 100 million, Biden team aiming for bigger vaccine numbers. It sounded so ambitious at first blush, 100 million vaccination shots in 100 days. Now 1 month into his presidency, Joe Biden is on a glide path to obtain that goal and pitching well beyond it to the far more ambitious and daunting mission of vaccinating all eligible adults against the coronavirus by the end of the summer. Limited supply of the 2 approved COVID-19 vaccines has hampered the pace of vaccinations, and that was before extreme winter weather delayed the delivery of about 6 million doses this past week. But the United States is on the verge of a supply breakthrough as manufacturing ramps up, and with the expectation of a third vaccine becoming available in the coming weeks. That means the act of delivering injections will soon be the dominant constraint, and it's prompting the Biden administration to push to dramatically expand the universe of those who will deliver injections and where Americans will meet them to get their shots. It's one thing to have the vaccine, and it's very different to get it into someone's arms, Biden said on Friday as he toured Pfizer's manufacturing plant in Michigan. The company is set to double its pace of vaccine deliveries in the coming weeks. Since their approval in December, more than 75 million doses of the 2-shot regimen, Moderna and Pfizer vaccines, have been distributed, of which 63 million have been injected, reaching 13% of Americans. Nearly 45 million of those doses have been administered since Biden's inauguration on January the 20th. The pace of deliveries of those vaccines is about to take off. About 145 million doses are set for delivery in the next 5.5 weeks, with an additional 200 million expected by the end of May and a further 200 million by the end of July. That's before the anticipated approval by the Food and Drug Administration for emergency use of a third vaccine from Johnson & Johnson. The single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine is expected to help speed the path to immunity and requires half the vaccination resources of the 2-shot regimens. But there is no massive stockpile of the Johnson & Johnson doses ready to roll out on day 1. The daily inoculation average climbed to 1.7 million shots per day last week, but as many as double that number of doses are soon expected to be available on average each day. The focus of Biden's team is now quickly shifting to ensuring those doses can get used, though the administration has resisted the calls of some health experts to publicly set a moonshot target for how many doses it hopes to deliver daily. In national news, how a winter storm pushed Texas into crisis. 2 days before the storm began, Houston's chief elected official warned her constituents to prepare as they would for a major hurricane. Many took heed, Texans who could stock up on food and water, while nonprofit and government agencies set out to help those who couldn't. But few foresaw the fiasco that was soon to come. As temperatures plunged and snow and ice whipped the state, much of Texas' power grid collapsed, followed by its water systems. Tens of millions huddled in frigid homes that slowly grew colder or fled for safety. And a prideful state, long suspicious of regulation and outside help, was left to seek aid from other states and humanitarian groups as many of its 29 million people grasped for survival. At one hospital, workers stood outside to collect rainwater. Others stood in line at a running tap in a park. A mother of 3 took her children to shelter in a furniture store after she could see her breast forming in the family's trailer. Images of desperate Texans circulated worldwide. To some, they evoke comparison to a less wealthy or self-regarding place. To others, they laid bare problems that have long festered. And finally, in entertainment news, Fat Boys member, radio host Prince Marky D dies at 52. Prince Marky D, a member of the Fat Boys hip-hop trio, who later formed his own band and became a well-known radio host, has died. His death was announced last week by the Sirius XM radio station Rock the Bells, which did not provide a cause of death. Born Mark Morales in Brooklyn, Prince Marky D was a prolific songwriter and founding member of the Fat Boys, a group known for beatboxing that released several popular albums in the 1980s, such as the platinum record Crushin'. Their 1984 debut album Fat Boys went gold. Their next two albums sold millions of copies, and they were featured in the films Crush Groove and Disorderlies. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Mary Ellen, it's all yours.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. A new attitude attracts like-minded people. When you make the decision to change your attitude, the universe and God sets into motion all the means necessary to make this happen. All of a sudden, the pieces of your life begin to fall into place. A sense of peace overcomes you because you no longer wonder if your dreams are possible. You know how to make them happen. This change in shift of your attitude opens up brand new possibilities for you to explore. Your focus becomes clear and you move forward with confidence. This positive shift in your attitude affects everything and everyone around you. Like a rush of water, it clears the debris from your path so you can move forward. Today, enjoy your new attitude as you attract other like-minded people. And enjoy your day.
As I mentioned, Crystal Maldonado is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight. We're here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Entertainment Spotlight. Author Crystal Maldonado told me recently on Conversations Live, the radio show, it's been a dream come true for her to celebrate the release of her debut novel, Fat Chance Charlie Vega. Here's a bit of our conversation.
I was reading where you had talked about growing up, that this was a dream of yours. How does it feel to have this dream realized of being a published author?
I have to say, this is more surreal than I ever could have imagined. Like, even speaking to you, talking on the radio right now, is a dream come true. So it's been really nice, especially during this pandemic when it's otherwise really stressful. It's been a nice distraction, at least for me, and hopefully for other people who pick up the book too.
Yeah. Well, what I love about the book, and I had a chance to get an early copy of it, Crystal, is that I think people will be able to see this as a reflection of themselves. Is that important for you to make sure that people not only see themselves in the book, but also realize that what they're going through in life, that they're not alone in it?
Absolutely. So that is truly why I wanted to write this. So when I was growing up, I read a lot of books, I consumed a lot of media, and I didn't feel like I got to see a story that felt like me, you know, and so I really wanted to write something that hopefully everybody can relate to, but especially fat folks, especially fat brown folks, especially fat brown girls. And I hope that they can see themselves in Charlie and in her story.
How important was that for you to make sure that Charlie found a support system, someone who actually saw her for her?
That was so crucial to me. So I think that our friendships when we're growing up are just so important to help make us feel like we have someone that we can turn to make it so that we feel like someone gets us. So that's not always, you know, our leaders in our life. It's not always our parents, especially when we're teenagers. It's not always family or, you know, trusted teachers. Sometimes it's just our friends.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll have you guys on tomorrow with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.